Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one of our weekly My Dress Up Darling discussion videos. I am once again joined by the wonderful, Startacular Stella Luna.
Yay! Hi!
It's you! You're back!
I am here, hello!
Yes, and guess what? You know who earned a gold star?
Ooh,
Not them! They did not earn a gold star. Nobody earned a
Yeah.
gold star. No, I'm kidding. Yes, you earned a gold star. Here it is! Bam! Boom! Bada bam! Boom! 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 Bang.
Where's my gold star?
You can have a gold star once we stop recording. I will give you a very fancy gold star. But they get this gold star, and if you want another one, I'm gonna have to see 200 likes on this video before next week. 200 likes, and I will give you a gold star next week. But for now, let's talk about episode 7 of My Dress Up Darling, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's go.
We shall.
So, what to talk about? There's definitely like 3 main points this week that I think we can talk about. Do you want to start by talking about Gramps and Gojo?
Yeah, so, we had the whole scene with Gramps and Gojo. Gojo was like, hey, Gramps, like, I'm gonna head over to Marin's place, or Kitagawa's place, to pick up some, like, anime, essentially, right? And he was like, yeah, go ahead, But the interesting thing is when he was holding the doll that Gojo had been working on, he was like, examining it, studying it, like looking to see how his progress is. And you know what? He's improved.
He has.
He's improved in his painting.
Yeah, Gramps actually tells him, like, you've been doing really well, and encourages him to actually continue the whole cosplay journey with Marin, saying that sometimes it's actually better to have another, like, artistic sort of, like, thing you have going on, because it actually helps in doll making. And while we were watching it, Stella actually pointed out that that's really good information.
Well, I mean, I didn't point it out. I actually said, because he never actually said specifically partaking in something else helps you. He was just like, he just mentioned, like, he thinks it is good for him.
Yeah.
But, like, because, like, as we were watching, some of the best advice I've gotten is that sometimes when you have an art block, no matter what medium you use artistically, right? Sometimes it's good to step out of your comfort zone and do something else that's artistic, like a different medium, right? Like if you draw, try photography. If you do photography, try sewing, like do something different, right? It helps you improve. It helps you like build like that part of your brain up a little bit more, right? By doing something else, right? And like, I think Gojo's really like learned how to do his painting skills a little bit more because he's been doing Marin's makeup.
I agree. I feel like having that sort of avenue of creativity where he's able to do something that's definitely different, but still in a way similar to his work with the dolls, right?
Yeah.
It's enabled him to sort of maybe like open up his worldview a little bit, right? Like it's helped him sort of like having that outlet has sort of given him new fire in this other category, right? Because it means that he's still being creative, he's still flexing his creative muscles, but he's also allowing him like that side of himself to rest, so that when he comes back to painting dolls, he has that same fire again. He's like Gramps said, that he's not as stiff, right? Like his painting style isn't as stiff, it's more loose, like more relaxed.
Oh, yeah, and like if you really notice, right, that like that Gojo sat there and he's like, oh my god, I haven't worked on doll making in a long time, like I probably like lost everything, right?
Yeah,
essentially what he was implying. But when he did it, he actually improved, even though he hasn't picked up a doll in a little bit. He actually improved.
Yeah, which I love that for him. Like the idea that he's learning that like this is actually good for him. That like, and what I love is that like this isn't that the cosplay hobby is not taking over his work with dolls. Like that's still going to be ultimately where Gojo is likely to end up, right? Like Gojo will take over like the Gojo dolls shop. Like he's still going to take over the shop for Gramps. Gramps is not losing Gojo, It's just Gojo's gaining a hobby that Gramps really approves of. And I like that for them. Like, I like that there's no sort of, like, conflict of interest. Like, they're both, like, down for Gojo being in this sort of, like, new cosplay hobby. Well, Gramps even laughs, like, when he tells him, like, you're gonna be watching, like, a magical girl anime? Like, Gramps thinks it's funny, right? Like, Gramps is like, cool, that sounds like fun, right? Like...
Yeah.
Like, which I like. He's very encouraging. Gramps is a cool dude. I like Gramps a lot.
He is.
Yeah.
But then... after that, we headed over to Marin's place for the first time.
Which looked exactly like what I thought Marin's place would look like.
Honestly, yes. It was very funny that, like, he was really nervous to be in there. To just be there in general. And then the moment he walks into a room, he's like, oh.
Yeah, he just knew, like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
This is definitely your room.
This is definitely your room.
That was really funny.
Because at first he's like, "Oh my god, it's a girl's room. Oh my god, it's a room. It's where Marin sleeps. It's a room. It's a bedroom that's not mine. Oh my god!" And then he looks inside and he's like, "Oh yeah."
Like, I really felt for him. I'm like, Gojo, it's gonna be okay, my boy. You gotta be calm. You gotta be cool. Okay, you gotta be cool and calm at the same time, right? I was like, everything's gonna be fine. And then he sees it, and then it's like, oh. Yeah, this looks about right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Marin's just like, huh? Just like, what do you mean? Yeah. Huh?
No, it's like walking into my room and seeing all the Miko and Sailor Moon shit everywhere.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, yeah, this looks about right.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and it was really cute. Them just like watching like anime together was really cute. That's like all I wanted for them, right? I was like, this is great. I love this. Like, just them being cute on the couch watching anime and shit.
And you know what's so funny is like the whole part, like they're sitting there watching, having a good time, and then eventually she just like remembers that the guy she now realized she likes is sitting right next to her, like them alone by themselves watching some anime, and she just can't help but when she like looks over at him, she just like
the JoJo sparkles
really hard. Yeah. Like she's like
well, they literally typed out like I loved whoever did the subtitling this week, because they literally just put like blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. I thought that was so funny.
It's literally how I type when I get excited.
Yeah, just blah 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 blah. That's Tumblr speak for excited, just so anyone.
Yeah. If you guys didn't know, Yeah. Also, like, I'm not gonna lie, when Gojo sat there and he was like watching and he started crying over the show, I was like, man, this takes me back to when I was over at your place and we were watching Sailor Moon for the first time.
It was, because like watching him, because at the beginning he's just sort of like, interesting, right? Like he's just kind of taking it in. He's watching. He's not like super interested, but he's like he's watching because he like wants to know about the cosplay element of it, right? When we were watching Sailor Moon, I was sort of like, okay, like, I want to see what it is that Stella sees in this show, right? And then by the end, I was like, Sailor Pluto, right? Just, like, so into it, right? I really loved, like, I really got into Sailor Moon big time. And so seeing Gojo get into it in the same way was like, well, it wasn't Sailor Moon. It was, like, their own made-up thing. Which, by the way, also, I again, had a Cardcaptor Sakura reference in it.
Yeah. Oh my god, the two guys where it's like, oh, it's her brother, and then it's like, but then it's also like her brother's best friend, but you could clearly tell that they're gay, but the brother's best friend she has a crush on. I'm like, that is Cardcaptor Sakura. You cannot convince me otherwise that is not Cardcaptor Sakura. Like, it's obviously like a conglomeration of like all these magical girl series, because you've got influences of Sailor Moon, Cardcaptor Sakura, Precure, Doremi, Princess Tutu. Like, there's so many different like references I could pick out from this specific show. It was insane.
Well, yeah, like when we watched it, I was like, there's Toya and Yuki, right? Like, I was right away like, holy shit.
They're gay.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I like that, like, that Marin and Juju were trying to explain to Gojo, like, oh no, they're like totally gay.
They're like totally gay. It's like, oh, do they say that in there? No, they don't come out and say it, but you just like know, like everybody just knows, like you just see it.
Well,
like, it's there.
And it's funny because like when they say that, I'm like, there's so many shows that I watch where it's like they never come out and say it, but it's so obvious, right? Like it's so heavily implied. Well, like, think of, like, Yuri on Ice, right? Or, like, Free or something, where it's, like, it's not said, but, like, if you read between the lines, like, it's there.
It's there.
Which
there.
I love. I think that's so funny that they put that in. And seeing Gojo, like, get really into it did make me happy, because I was like, that's, like, it's like, oh, that's really sweet.
All right, but, like, Marin making the amu rice.
Yes, that was okay. So Marin making the rice. Like, okay, I'll say this, right? Like, I said this while we were watching it, that the shot of her, like, imagining her, like, feeding Gojo, I was like, there's gonna be so many people, and I'm also not gonna specify gender, because I know a lot of girls who are also down bad for Marin right now. There's gonna be so many people who are like, I wish that was me, right? There's just so many people are gonna wish that they were Gojo in that moment. Because, like, yeah, Marin is, you know, Marin is Marin. Everybody loves Marin. But I will say, I was sitting there. For me, it's a different experience, because for me, I ship them too much to really see either character like that. Right? So, like, for me, I was watching it just gushing about, I'm like, this is so cute. This is so freaking cute. She's gonna make him some amu rice. And for a little bit, it does go well for a bit. Right? And
yeah,
I was actually impressed.
Get to the eggs part.
Yeah, which I imagine is probably the hard part. Like,
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's actually extremely hard to, like, do it correctly, because you have to, like vigorously, like, sit there and stir the eggs, like, in a whirlpool of death.
That just, like, that sounds like just really hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like,
it actually is really hard.
Yeah.
But if you can make it, it's really good. And I mean that's what I hear. I've never had it. I would love someday. Like, I wanna go to Japan. I wanna go to that one amu rice shop that, like, I see everywhere with that really cute old man who's, like, super, like, sunshines. If you guys know, you know. If you've seen it, you've seen it. You know who I am talking about. And he is a wonderful old man, and I want specifically amu rice from him in his shop.
Okay. It's like, I have no idea what we're talking about.
If you know, you know. I don't know his name, but if you know, you know.
Somebody out there is gonna be like, I know what she's talking about.
Comment down below if you know what I'm talking about.
I'll pin it. There you go. But yeah, it was, yeah, like, it was cute. I like seeing her, like, realizing how, like, down bad she is, because, again, like, that's normally something that you wouldn't see for, like, the first little bit. There's 2 slow burn romances this season that I'm surprised that this is now the definition of slow burn, because I'm like, do I come from, like, a different era? Because, like, I've seen so many people call this and Sasaki Miyano, like, slow burns.
These are not slow burns.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, is this a slow burn?
To me, a slow burn is, like, when characters do not realize they have feelings for each other until, like, the end of the show after 24 episodes.
Yeah, and like, then, like, season 2, if you're lucky, right?
Yeah, if you're lucky, and they might not even be together at the end.
Yeah.
You know, you could be, like, you know, cock blocked, like, in, like, you know, Blue Spring Ride, no kiss. Right?
No,
There's no
Blue
kiss.
Spring, no. Well, I assume the manga does, but, like, the anime, yeah, it just stops.
Or how about another like vicious one, or on High School Host Club. What the fuck was that? There was no kiss in that. You think a kiss was coming. You think a kiss is coming, and then all of a sudden they're jumping off a bridge and they just embrace each other into the water, and you're like, where's the kiss? Where is it? It's aggravating. The only kiss we had in the entire show was Haruhi and another girl. So, you know what?
Awesome.
In, like, episode 3.
That sounds awesome. I failed to see the problem with it. No, I'm kidding.
It was her, you know, I'm not even gonna go there. Never mind.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yes.
I'm not even gonna say it.
Apparently we're gonna have to do a video on Oron at some point.
Okay, yeah. But yeah. I don't, like, to me, like, this, like, fluff, this cuteness is not necessarily a slow burn. A slow burn is, like, when there is, like, they just kind of don't know that they like each other.
To me, a slow burn is, like, the end of the end of the first season is when they realize they have feelings, right? They don't even, it's like, no couple yet. They just connect that they have feelings at the end of the first season.
Our bar is so low, it's all the way to the ground.
Exactly.
Like,
so when characters, yeah, well, like, so when characters, like, admit feelings, it's like, whoa, right? Like, that's, like, a crazy revelation, right? So, like, the fact that, like, I'm not gonna say much about Sasaki Miyano other than you should watch it, but the fact that, like, in My Dress Up Darling, Marin, like, realizes her feelings, like, 2 episodes ago, Was it like
Yeah.
episode 5 or 6? Like
Yeah,
it was
it
about
was
the halfway point.
Yeah, it was episode 5 where that was when she at the very end of episode 5 where he basically says like, you know, he calls her beautiful, and then she like remembers what he said about he doesn't call things beautiful unless he means it.
Yeah.
And like instantly she was like, do I like him?
Yeah. And it's so cute, right? Like her cooking the omu rice, or at least attempting to, was like super friggin' cute, right? Like because she wanted to do that because she likes him, right? She literally wanted to put like a heart on it, right?
Yeah.
Like, which was so cute. Obviously, it didn't go that way, and that sucks. But he did like the food, to be fair. Like it did work out. Like he did like it, but also like I had said this while we were watching that like her body language, right? Like the way she was sitting, it was like she was looking more at him.
Yeah.
Right? Like she was just like so entertained by his reaction to the show than rewatching it again. You know?
Yeah.
Which is fair because we're watching Attack on Titan right now, and I care more about what you think than rewatching it at this point. Because I love the show and I've already seen it.
We were literally sitting there a couple months ago watching JoJo's together, like.
And I was staring at you.
And you were, and yeah, JoJo was literally staring at me the whole time, like getting my reaction to things.
Yeah.
Of like what was happening. And so like it's like a very, very like real thing. Also, I just like want to point out with Marin that like even though she likes him, it's not like it's the way she likes him is not as juvenile as a lot I
Which is funny because it is and it isn't, right? Because she says
right?
like I love him.
I love him, yeah.
Yeah, which is like, but it's like this isn't like infatuation. She like likes him because of what he like who he is, not just like I like him because he's hot. Right?
Yeah.
Like she likes him because of who he is as a person. You know, like who he is and what he's done for her and the things that he says.
It's juvenile, but in a not in the same way as like I feel like a lot of romances are.
Yeah.
It's or at least like romances that happen in high school, right? Because I feel like she accepts her feelings, and it's not like she can't stand to be around him because she's like, oh my god, my heart's gonna beat out of my chest no matter what, right? She's just excited to be there and be around him.
She just likes being around him, which is cute.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's cute. It's very cute. The whole scene is so cute.
Yeah.
But then we had Juju pop up again.
Juju popped up again. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have many thoughts on Juju this week, other than like I thought she was much better here.
Yeah.
Mostly because she was there actually for like cosplay exposition, which was interesting, and it was something that you called like a while back.
Yeah.
Right. That would eventually be in the show, which was tape.
Face tape.
Yeah.
Face tape.
Which I remember you saying like not super okay here, I think, or something like that.
It depends. It depends on how you use it, right? Because like because Juju specifies, she talks about face tape, right? Because Gojo's like, how do you get your face to look the way it does in cosplay?
Yeah, because her eyes were bigger. Right?
Her eyes were bigger, and or her facial features look different, right?
Yeah.
And she goes, tape, and he's like, tape? And she's like, yeah, tape. And she kind of like, she's like, if you put it like on your forehead and you pull it back, right, it'll help like lift up your eyes and make them look bigger. If you can make your like, jawline look sharper.
Yeah.
Or if you want to like make your eyes like smaller and more slanted, you could also do that. That was the only part. Now in Japan, it is very common to do that. Like if you're a cross player, or like a like you do like a very much more mature like female character.
Yeah.
It is very common in Japan to do that. In the West, we don't do that.
Yeah, that would be seen as sort of not okay.
Yeah, it would be seen as like not okay.
Yeah, it's a cultural difference thing.
It is a cultural difference.
Yeah.
That specifically the making the eyes smaller and slanted.
Yeah.
But like if you wanted to use tape here in the West, you can to like make your eyes look bigger or to like lift up your jaw. Right? Because a lot of people don't have like super defined jawlines, right?
Yeah.
You want like a really nice defined jawline, you can just like pull it up with tape. I've used face tape before. Now, let me tell you, face tape is a bitch to get off because it catches your little baby hairs that stick out under your wig cap, and then you just rip them out, and you're like, cool, I'm just bald there now. But you know, I love actually using face tape. It really helps a lot in cosplay. And it hides under your wig really nicely. So it was really cool, like, for her to kind of be like, because she is a more veteran cosplayer, to like be like, yeah, face tape, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, veteran cosplayers use face tape, which I guess really makes sense. And then she also brought up about the studio, right?
Yes.
Now in the West, we don't really have cosplay studios. The closest we get that I've seen is at Anime Expo. They have like a whole, I don't know, I can't remember what the hall is called. But like you have like your video games you can go play, and then they have like a huge like place that you can go and take photos at. And they're like different, like they're sets, right? And I have taken photos there. Super great place. They have like a school. They have like an outdoor, like top of the roof. They have so many different scenes, right?
That's cool.
And it's very similar to that, like studio, like these cosplay studios. What you do is you go there, you dress up, you get into your cosplay, and then you pay the studio to take your photos, or someone else can take your photos, and you pay for the time there.
That's cool.
But I was shocked by how expensive it was.
Same. I will say that. Well, and the fact that, like, I also think it's cool of Juju to specifically say, like, okay, fine, like, you guys can come. Alright? Like, it's cool. Like, as long as you split the studio time with me, like, you can come along.
I mean, to be fair, Gojo, I got Juju,
Gojo, and JoJo.
JoJo.
There's too much going on.
Too much going on. Gojo did suggest to help pay for it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and then she was like, huh. She's like, oh, she's like, if we split it into 2, oh, that's a lot less. And then, 3? Oh, and then she started thinking about it. She's like, oh, that could save money. That's like a cosplayer going to a con right there.
Yeah.
Like,
that actually saves money.
If I can, like, cram 6 people into a 4-person hotel room, I can save this much money, right? Like,
yeah. I thought that was really funny. I definitely liked her more here. I think because the show didn't really, like, it was like, I think there was like a shot where I was like, oh, because I was like, why are we in this angle? Oh, right? Like, because I was wondering why we were at like the far away angle, and like, that's a weird.
I was too busy reading.
Like, it showed like a quick shot of her, like, from like a distance, like an up, like a quick pantsu shot. And I was like, you know what? That's not as bad as last week. So
no,
whatever. Like, it's obnoxious and I don't like it, but like, that's fine.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's anime. I kind of shrug. Like, that kind of stuff I shrug off. I'm like, right? Like that I'm used to. I'm like, whatever, it's fine.
But the thing is now we were introduced to Juju's sister, younger sister, who's a photographer apparently, who takes her photos.
Yeah. Also, if you hear a vacuum upstairs, forgive me. They're like vacuuming right above my head because apparently they were not big fans of Juju's sister, I guess.
Apparently not. Yeah, Juju's sister, she's tall. She is a middle schooler, and she's tall.
She is very, very tall. Yes, and that too. That was a surprise. I thought, okay, I had assumed that this character was going to be the crossplayer.
Yeah, like, me too.
Yeah. Because that, like, when you had brought up that it would be funny if the crossplayer actually was like stacked, because then you can introduce the idea of binding, like like whatever you call those. So, and I was like, that would be really funny, especially for a guy like Gojo who's so unfamiliar with cosplay, because even I've at least heard of what that is, like, but for Gojo, he would be like totally like, what the hell is that? So I assumed that it was going to be the crossplayer, that the girl in the opening who was like really tall and stacked was going to be the crossplayer, who Marin had talked about. But no, it's Juju's sister, and that I was like, okay, that's a surprise. And yes, she is definitely, shall we say, top heavy. Yep. She might fall over if the wind is too strong. But she was definitely not the personality I had expected. Either, because I thought that she would be like the mature type based off the opening, but she's not. And I don't know, I was kind of surprised, pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get to see like a whole lot of her, but like we did get to see a little bit, right? And they do look like sisters, right? I do find it a little odd that the older sister is like the younger looking one, while the younger is the older looking one.
Yeah,
but,
that was weird. Yeah, I did find that weird as well.
As a little, and okay. I will say this though. It's weird because she's so much taller than her.
Like, they're not even the same, like, remotely. Like, to me, like, I could tell that they were siblings, but it was just so jarringly different, right? Like, yeah. I don't hate it. I do think it's funny. Like, it did make me laugh. I was like, that's really funny. It just caught me off guard, was all.
Yeah. It caught me off guard a little bit. And I love the fact that Marin's like, whoa, how big are you? Right? And Gojo's like, Marin, you can't say that.
Yeah. And then she gives, like, her height.
And then she gives her height, and we're like, oh, we're talking about heights.
Well, because I'm not gonna lie, yeah, even I was like, Marin, right? Like, and then she gave a height, and I went like, oh. Even I was like, Gojo, I was like, oh. Yeah, that's my bad. Yeah, because I was thinking the same thing, like, Marin, that's not cool, right? Because Marin does say shit like that all the time, right? So I didn't know.
Yeah, I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah, it was a good. I really liked that scene a lot, actually. But yeah, she's also a photographer, so we'll see if that has how that plays into the show next week.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays in next week. I'm excited to meet this new character. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. But do you have any last thoughts before we close out the video?
I want some almond rice.
Okay, we're gonna end the video. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
And there you have it, everybody. That is gonna wrap it up for today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to boop that up snoot, share if you care, leave a comment down below, and of course, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and set notifications to all. Let all of AnyTube know that you are here. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and check out our Discord so that you can actually be notified when new videos go up. And of course, you'll also be notified when we're streaming over on the other website that starts with a T. On top of being the best way to get notified for new videos, it's also a good place to discuss with fellow anime fans and stuff like that. So if that sounds cool to you, go ahead and join us over on the Discord, link down in the description. Also linked to the description is our Patreon page, and that, along with the join button right beside the sub button, are great ways to help keep this channel afloat. You will find our Patreon page for as little as $1. You can help keep this channel running. And of course, a big thank you I have to give to our masters of masters, the true legends, Asaki VT, Elizabeth Just Elizabeth, JCran23, Jeremy P, Matt87 Eagle, Shadow Creative, Shiorans, Stephen G, Stevie W, Trapmaster, Trevor W, and Tristan G. Thank you all so much for being so freaking cool. I really love and appreciate all of you guys for your tremendous support of this channel. And if you too would like to have your name shouted out at the end of videos, once again, go check out that Patreon link in the description or hit the join button right beside the sub button. Either way helps out a ton. And that's it for me. So until next time, clean your room. Just trust me, a clean room is a clean mind. Maybe do some Tai Chi. Maybe drink lots of water and brush your teeth. And yeah, have a good day. Bye.